The Honda Rebel 1100 remains one of the most compelling mid to large cruiser models on the market today. With its Africa Twin-derived parallel twin engine, sleek blacked-out aesthetic, and Honda's legendary reliability, this machine punches well above its weight class. But no bike is perfect. Today, we break it all down: the good, the bad, and everything in between. At the heart of the Rebel 1100 sits a 1084cc parallel twin engine derived directly from the acclaimed Honda Africa Twin adventure bike, and that lineage is impossible to hide. This motor churns out approximately 87 horsepower and 77 pound-feet of torque, delivering a power band that feels broad, accessible, and deeply satisfying across the entire rev range. Whether you're rolling out of a stoplight or cruising at highway speeds, the engine responds with authority and composure. Honda has tuned the power delivery specifically for cruiser riding, emphasizing low to mid-range grunt over top-end scream, which means real-world usability is exceptional. 3 riding modes, Standard, Sport, and Rain, allow you to tailor throttle response to your mood or conditions, making this engine as versatile as it is thrilling. Honda's dual-clutch transmission option on the Rebel 1100 is nothing short of revolutionary in the cruiser segment. While most of the competition still offers only traditional manual gearboxes, Honda gives you the choice of a 6-speed DCT that shifts automatically or manually via handlebar-mounted paddle buttons. In urban environments, this means no clutch fatigue during stop-and-go traffic, a genuine quality-of-life improvement that makes longer rides far more enjoyable. The DCT is also surprisingly smooth and intuitive, never feeling robotic or disconnected. Riders who have never enjoyed a traditional clutch setup, or those coming from the car world, will find this system a brilliant and welcoming bridge into motorcycling. It is, simply put, one of Honda's finest pieces of engineering. Visually, the Rebel 1100 is a masterpiece of restraint and intention. Honda's design team leaned hard into a blacked-out neo-retro philosophy, hiding the radiator behind a sculpted shroud, routing cables cleanly out of sight, and keeping the overall silhouette low, lean, and mean. The round headlight, low-slung tank, and bobber-inspired tail section create a profile that looks equal parts classic and contemporary. There is no chrome excess, no unnecessary ornamentation, just clean, purposeful lines that photograph beautifully from any angle. Color options for 2026 continue Honda's tradition of offering rich, deep tones that complement the matte black components. This is a motorcycle that turns heads at gas stations and generates conversations in parking lots without trying too hard to do so.
When you buy a Honda, you are buying decades of mechanical credibility and a global support infrastructure that no upstart brand can match. The Rebel 1100 benefits from Honda's proven Africa Twin powertrain, which has been refined over years of adventure touring use across some of the world's harshest conditions. Service intervals are generous, parts availability is excellent, and the Honda dealer network spans virtually every corner of the world. For riders who want to log serious miles without anxiety about breakdowns or expensive surprises, this peace of mind is invaluable. Resale value also remains strong compared to competitors, meaning the Rebel 1100 holds its worth better over time, a practical consideration that matters when it comes time to upgrade or sell. Despite its cruiser styling and laid-back riding position, the Rebel 1100 handles with a nimbleness that regularly surprises riders who expect a wallowy, disconnected experience. The 43mm Showa inverted front forks and Pro-Link rear suspension deliver a confident, planted feel that inspires cornering aggression well beyond what most cruiser riders would expect. The low center of gravity, combined with wide handlebars and well-positioned mid-mount foot pegs, creates an ergonomic triangle that works for a wide range of rider heights. Combined with Honda's selectable torque control and ABS as standard, the Rebel 1100 is genuinely safe and composed in situations that would unsettle lesser machines. It is, at its core, a proper motorcycle that happens to wear cruiser clothing. The minimalist design that makes the Rebel 1100 so visually striking comes at a price on the open highway: wind blast. With no windscreen, fairing, or meaningful wind protection of any kind, high-speed cruising on the interstate becomes physically taxing after extended periods. Riders who plan to regularly cover large distances at 70 to 80 miles per hour will feel the fatigue in their chest, shoulders, and neck, particularly on blustery days. Aftermarket windscreen options exist, but most compromise the bike's clean aesthetic significantly. This is a fundamental limitation tied directly to the design philosophy, and it means the Rebel 1100, for all its talents, is ultimately better suited for spirited backroad riding and urban commuting than true long-distance touring. The Rebel 1100's fuel tank holds just 3.4 gallons, which sounds modest because it is. Combined with real-world fuel economy in the 40 to 45 miles per gallon range, depending on riding style, riders can expect approximately 130 to 150 miles before needing to stop for fuel. On well-served urban routes, this is a minor inconvenience, but on rural roads or long cross-country stints, it demands more frequent planning and fuel stops than competing machines. Riders accustomed to adventure or touring bikes with 5+ gallon tanks will find the range a tangible limitation. This is perhaps the Rebel 1100's most practical weakness, and it's one that no amount of skill or accessories can fully compensate for without modifying the bike itself.
The Rebel 1100 is not a budget machine. The DCT-equipped variant especially climbs into pricing territory that puts it in direct competition with significantly more powerful motorcycles from other manufacturers. While Honda's quality, reliability, and engineering justify a price premium to a degree, some potential buyers will find themselves questioning the value proposition when comparing displacement and horsepower figures against rivals at similar price points. Riders on a strict budget may find that the Rebel 500, Honda's smaller sibling, offers a more compelling cost-to-enjoyment ratio, while serious power seekers may feel they should spend slightly more for a flagship cruiser. The bike occupies a middle ground that doesn't always feel like the obvious best value choice in its segment. While the Rebel 1100's suspension performs admirably in stock form, the lack of any meaningful front or rear suspension adjustability is a missed opportunity at this price point. Riders who are significantly heavier, those who frequently carry a passenger, or those with strong preferences for firmer or softer damping will find themselves unable to fine-tune the ride without turning to aftermarket solutions. Competing bikes in this class, particularly from European manufacturers, often offer at least preload and damping adjustment at the rear. Honda's decision to keep the setup non-adjustable keeps the bike simple and approachable for newer riders, but it ultimately limits the Rebel 1100's versatility for more experienced enthusiasts who want to dial in their ride. If you plan to regularly carry a pillion, the Rebel 1100 will test both your relationship and your passenger's patience. The rear seat is compact, the grab rail is minimal, and the foot peg positioning is not particularly comfortable for extended journeys. The bike's solo rider design philosophy, so appealing from a visual standpoint, translates into a two-up experience that is functional at best and uncomfortable at worst on anything longer than a short city ride. Passengers will also feel every bump and undulation more acutely given the limited padding in the rear seat. For committed solo riders, this is irrelevant, but for those who frequently share their rides, the Rebel 1100 demands a compromise that alternatives in the segment handle considerably better.